So I imagine a lot of people in the vinyl community, especially those of us who've been collecting forever, and have been collecting, uh, especially during this sort of resurgence or renaissance, whatever you want to call it, um, have had the feeling that I had last weekend. So I was out shopping at a record store, picked up a few records, and I sort of had this pause, and I was like, "What am I doing?" I mean, music is the centerpiece of my life. It always will be. It's 4:30 in the afternoon here on the West Coast. I was just listening to Springsteen for an hour. Before that, I was listening to Flaming Lips. Like, it's my fuel. It's like water to me. Like, I just need it. Um, you guys know what I'm talking about. I can't eloquently uh, state what I'm trying to share. Um, but I had like a couple records on hand, and I was like, enough. Just came over me. Uh, I ended up buying those records, which sort of felt like a mini, at least temporary, like farewell. Um, I have, I think, about 3,000, close to 3,000 records logged on Discogs, and I'm sure there's hundreds that are not logged that I have in different parts of my home. Um, Thousands of CDs I still have. I held on to all my CDs, and I'm happy that I did. I still listen to them uh, a lot. Uh, I do a part of my new routine is trying to listen to one record every night. I don't do it every night, um, especially when work gets busy, which the last couple weeks has been incredibly busy. Um, but I absolutely love it. 2 nights ago, I listened to Towns Van Zandt live at the Old Quarter all the way through, um, and it was just sit in my chair and listen, and that's it. Um, I'll do it again tomorrow night. Can't do it tonight 'cause I got plans. Um, you can clearly see where I'm going with this. There's no way you know this. I am putting a pause on buying records for a time, with a few exceptions. Um, and it is because I have, as I just said, about 3,000 records. I would say 10%, maybe 5 to 10% of those are unopened. So I want to try to spend a year listening to the records that I have. I'm looking right to the right now. I've always wanted to put on REM New Adventures in Hi-Fi. I never got into that record. And I know people like that, or people, big REM fans, that's one of their favorite late period REM records. I'm looking at all these Otis Redding records that I had, Lonely in Blue, Love Man, John Prine, the live collection from Record Store Day, which I haven't even opened. Um, what else? Daniel Johnston, I've been wanting to listen to him a lot lately. Junior Kimbrough, Waylon Jennings, the Jayhawks, love them. Uh, there's just all the Beatles stuff. Um, Big Star, I've listened to them a lot lately. All the Replacements box sets. It goes on and on. And instead of feeding whatever this vinyl need is, or consumerist need, I'm gonna spend the rest of this year listening to the records that I have. It feels like the right thing to do, and this may be a permanent thing. There will be exceptions, and I'll highlight sort of what some of those exceptions might be. Something like this: Bruce Springsteen, Wild the Innocent, Mean Street Shuffle, which I have shared many times with Lane's favorite record of all time, and it's certainly in my top 10. Um, I haven't opened it. I bought the CD and the vinyl, and I have no regrets there. This is one of my favorite records of all time, and if I can get a version that sounds pristine, I'm gonna do it. Um, if as long as I continue to have the financial ability to do so. So that's an exception. So like if Darkness on the Edge of Town comes out in a MoFi, I'm getting it. Or Wilco's Being There, or Gillian Welch releases more of her records on vinyl, those I will get. And then my favorite records each year. And I only want this to be a few. Like this Adrian Lenker record that I listen to almost every day, Bright Future. So my favorite favorites, I will be much more selective, but I do plan on supporting those artists by buying the records that I truly love from each year. And then finally, I will always, always, for the rest of my life, as long as I can, and I don't mean to make this sound like I'm a wonderful person, but the artists that I think never really got their due, folks like Joe Pernice, Brent Best and Slobberbone, who'll be playing my brother's memorial show in Chicago this summer. All those acts like the V-Roys, Scott Miller, this is Joe Pernice, the Pernice brothers. When they put records out, I will buy them because it's always been sort of heartbreaking to me that so many great acts, especially from the 90s and early 2000s, never really got their due. So I will continue to support them. But just casually spending money on records that I am just going to throw on the shelf, I would like that to stop. I also subscribe to 2 music services, Spotify and Apple Music. And again, I have, like I said, CDs. I have tons of music DVDs, hundreds. I'm looking right now. Gimme Shelter, Pavement, Bob Dylan, Don't Look Back, Sir Douglas Quintet at Austin City Limits, No Direction Home, the Big Star documentary, Springsteen in Barcelona, Record Safari, love that one. Last Waltz, Heartwarm Highways. I mean, there's so much music in this house. And I remember even, as an early teen, that's what I wanted. I was like, I want to be surrounded by music when I'm old. And now I'm old. So that's what I'm gonna do. I am certainly, I'm 50 years old now, and there is a bit of soul searching in terms of what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life, where I want to live, who I want to be near, in terms of living and traveling to, what the things that I still want to do, and there's a lot of them, a lot around mental health, which I talk about, yes, I'm on boards and such, but I don't do nearly as much as I really wish that I did, which leads me to a number of times talking about I'm going to do videos on my own mental health journey, and I have one ready, which will probably be my next video. So I'm sort of easing into it. And I will be completely honest, the reasons that I have held back are the reasons that I work in this field, and they're the things that I'm trying to change, and that's relative to the stigma. So just like many, many people who have had bouts or who have dealt with mental illness or have had mental health issues, it's still, in 2024, hard to talk about. At least for me, I'm going to admit it is. When I'm surrounded by board members from the nonprofits I work with, it's much, much easier. But to a public audience, with my massive YouTube following, I make that joke all the time. It's never funny. With my limited YouTube following and people I don't know, just telling them about what happened and what it was like and how I get better, it might be hard, but it's worth it. And I'm going to do it. So I'm going to start with this one, which I plan on doing within the next week. I'm not going to share what it is. You'll see it. I was going to do a 3-part, when I was young, as I got older, and then how I got better. But I think I'm going to start just to ease into it with one sort of chapter of a period of time when I was struggling and how I got out of it. So, or how I made it through. I don't know. So it's still hard to talk about, but I would like this channel to turn into something a little bit better than what it's been. I know a lot of people talk in the comments, they like my stories. That's the kind of stuff I want to focus on. Mental health. I may do record profiles, like a record that meant the world to me and the period of time. Talk a lot about my relationship with my brother. I have another brother that I don't talk about nearly as often. He's my brother John, and he and we've had a little bit of a bumpy road, just like many siblings, but we're back in touch, and I hope to see him soon. Those kind of stories. And then I may do some interviews with some artists that I love. So that will be, I'm sure there will be times when if I'm traveling and I go to a record store and I pick up a few records, but I think the point of this was trying change. I don't want to be the cliche person or the cliche, like life is about change or something, but I guess that's sort of what I mean. This has been a rambling video. I hope it made some sense. And now I am going to go up to Oakland to see Waxahachie, which I just found out is sold out. And my friend that I was going with is sick, so I'm going solo, which I go to shows solo all the time. I love going solo. So I have never seen Waxahachie, so I am absolutely thrilled. I'm going to head up in a few hours, and then tomorrow the New York Knicks are in Game 7 versus the Pacers. Whoa, that's going to be a tense one. Hope you're all doing well. That video will be coming at the latest next weekend, so I look forward to doing that and sort of opening up a new part of this channel. Hope you all have a good weekend, and I will talk to you soon.